My name's Charles Mayfield. This is Mayfield Pastures. We're in Decatur, Tennessee, on about 350 acres right on the Tennessee River. Presently, we're in with the chickens. I'm running a flock of about 200 layers. These are Isa Browns or a sex-linked red. We're running a pig feeder pig operation as well as a farrowing operation. And then we've got a cow-calf as well as steer finishing here on the farm. We do a batch of turkeys every year. It's in the middle of winter, so we don't have any broilers on the pasture, but we'll do broilers starting again in the spring. So pastured poultry, eggs, meat, turkeys, pastured pork, both farrowing and finishing, and then grass-finished beef as well. So.
Awesome, and it's all done with rotational grazing, and you move the girls, you move the cows, all the different.
We try to make it. We try to do the best we can. It's winter time right now. The chickens are well behind the cows. Ideally, they'd be right behind them, but it's due to the cold nature of these days. Keeping water from freezing is difficult. And so
things slow down a ton in the winter, and
they do. They slow down quite. I mean, there's things that slow down and there's things that speed up. You know, we've got burn piles to take care of and fences to mend. But in terms of the animal production, we don't have broilers in the field. Broilers are very labor intensive. We don't have many cows scheduled. We have the bull. We put the bull in with the cows just a couple days ago, so we'll let that run its course for the next 6 or 7 weeks. But yeah, right now it's winter time, so just trying to get all the stuff fixed up from the previous year. And I was showing you, I'm sure we'll go back and look at them, some of my structures, shade mobiles and shade structures. It's just that time of year to sort of retool and rethink and strategize about the coming season. So
here we're with the layers, and so you said you have about 200 going here?
Roughly 200 layers. Yeah, we're getting anywhere from 150 to 170 eggs a day, which is a lot for me. Well, yeah, they started laying around September, October. And man, when they came on strong. So I'm expecting they'll molt somewhere early spring. Sometimes the winter can sort of push them into that, but they've been getting fed very well. I actually had a chest freezer go out about 2 weeks ago and lost quite a bit of product. Well, I didn't lose anything. I just can't sell it. So I've had it in coolers, and I bring a bunch of protein out.
Yeah, feed it back to them.
Yeah, feed it right back to them. They eat it right up, and I think that'll push their molt into a little bit later in the spring, which is fine. But yeah, I've been real pleased with this batch. This is the second run of Isa Browns that I've had, and they do great. They're a brown egg layer. I would say medium to large, although we get ostrich eggs every now and then. But
so show me the mobile coop here. How did you build this thing?
Yeah, so I think we were talking before we went online. This is probably not the ideal setup. I don't think it is, but it was the best I had to work with at the time. So this is an old silage wagon chassis, and I've just built the eggmobile up on top of it. The issue, just for your listeners, the issue I've run into, didn't think about it, is these wheels can't. They will. If you're going over a bump, one will go up and one will go down. It's on an axle there, and so if it's too bumpy, the tire bumps up against the structure, and it'll actually pick it up. But we haven't had any real issues yet. We're not going over any super big bumps, but we will quickly, probably when it warms up a little bit in the spring, quickly find a new eggmobile structure. But it works pretty well. We're just pulling it. I've got an old farm truck.
How'd you find this chassis? Just some farmer around here is getting rid of it?
They're not hard to find. Yeah, I mean, a lot, especially silage chassis. There's just, everybody keeps scaling up. I think I paid, I want to say I paid about $2,000 for the chassis, which I don't know, it's a lot or a little, but once we get the eggmobile onto something else, these things are amazing for carrying around heavy stuff, logs, when you cut down trees, you can do that, or just moving equipment or whatever. I mean, it'll carry thousands of pounds.
So I see you have like a water setup here with your IBC tote.
Yep.
So where does it run? Oh, it runs to here. Okay.
Yeah, it just runs to right here, which is sort of frozen over at the moment. So
Yeah, we got down to high 20s last night. So
yeah, the saving grace this mornings like this, and I'm a little angry with myself because this is all still connected. Yeah. I should have been out here last night disconnecting it all. Hopefully we won't have anything pop today, but on mornings like this, there's so much frost on the ground. The chickens are really smart. They'll go eat ice until things warm up. But
how long will this IBC tote last for water for 200 chickens?
Oh gosh, weeks. Oh, at least 10 to 14 days. Yeah.
So you'll just drive that over to wherever your water source is, fill it up, drive it back.
Yeah, our water. Well, you can see. We'll get to the pigs in a minute, but you see these hoses running to the pig waterer. Okay. So before we take this off somewhere else, we'll just pull the hose over, fill it up. Just like your tank of gas for your truck. This is an old beat up farm truck I had, and right now we're just using it as my ongoing chicken tractor mover. Eggmobile mover. I've got hello girls. So we've got 4 nesting boxes in here, and they say I listen to a lot of Salatonisms, read a lot of his books. They say you need 1 nesting box for every 10 chickens, and so we've got 20, 40. We got plenty of nesting boxes, I feel like, for this batch of birds. And slatted floor. I'm not real happy with the slatted floor. They're too wide, but
they kind of slip in there.
It's a little too wide. Yeah, ideally these would be like 1x1s, and they'd be a lot tighter together. But I had to, because this thing's so long, you'll see I had to offset them there in the middle. So the width between the boards is a little wider than I'd like, but so far so good. Yeah, it works pretty well. I probably wouldn't line the inside with plywood, that panel board again, but you learn every time you build something.
Never predator issues or anything?
I haven't, no. And the poly
weasels or something horrible like that.
No, we've been very fortunate on the predator stuff. Most of our this is going to sound terrible, but most of the animals that die around here are my fault, not some predator. But no, we haven't had any pressure issues. The Premier One poly fencing for poultry and pigs works great. And the good thing about where we are right now is I'm plugged into. There it is. I'm plugged directly into our cow fence, which is really hot. So I don't, we have portable energizers and deep cycle batteries and all that. So we can go very mobile with the chickens. Look out, girls. Look out, girls. We can go extremely mobile with the chickens. Again, the water and a portable energizer. But
so then for their feed, you're coming out here a couple times a day and dumping.
Usually once a day. Yeah, and the truck, I don't know if there's one in here now or not, but we're bucketing the feed right now. The next chicken eggmobile that's built will have a feed buggy on the back of it, just to hold, a ton or half a ton, so that you got it and bucketing here. But it's not that, it's 200 layers, so it's usually 2 5-gallon buckets ish every other day kind of thing. And they've got a lot. I mean, I think I mentioned the pigs were in here a while back, so they're still sorting through all the old pig poop and those various things. I'm actually really enjoying getting the chickens into sort of the edges of wooded areas.
Why?
They just clean up under trees something fierce. It's really cool. There's all that latent leaf bed and stuff. And that acts as a canopy for worms and bugs, and so they're
getting good stuff in there.
Oh yeah, they're doing well.
You've got them on like a half acre or something, or?
I would call this probably roughly, it's somewhere between a third to a half. Okay. Yeah, and they'll be in here for 8 days, 9 days. In fact, this evening, when I come gather eggs, I'll crank the truck up and I'll just pull it forward, 20 feet, 30 feet.
Because they hang out around the truck and the.
Yep.
So then when you go to move them, what do? You just move the fence over, or?
I'll keep moving them in the fence.
Yeah.
And then at some point, this fence will be up. We'll set up a brand new paddock somewhere, and at night come in, close them up, shut them in there,
And then just move them to the next.
and then either that night go ahead and just haul them over there, or the next morning, first thing in the morning, before they wake up.